Yeah, welcome everyone. I'm going to look at some hands involving decisions about drawing trumps or delaying drawing trumps. And it's such an important decision that you have to make nearly every time that you are declarer in a suit contract. And let's just have a look at this one to start with. We're going to have a look at this hand played in a couple of ways. This is one where East opened two diamonds on this. Here, South overcalled two hearts. There was a three diamond bid, and North raised you to four hearts. And nearly everyone who played this hand was ended up in four hearts, one way or another. And most people made it, but a few people didn't. And let's have a look at this one where the opponents start off by leading the eight of spades. And you can see that that's a great lead for declarer because it means that you don't have any guess in spades. They've given you a free finesse by leading a spade. So you're not going to lose any spades. Um, and I'd like you to think about where else you might lose tricks here. And then let's suppose they play the queen of spades and you win that first trick with the ace. I'd like you to think about what suit you should play next. So that's going to be the subject of the first poll. You've won that first spade with the ace of spades. And the question is, which suit do you think you should play next? Spades, hearts, diamonds, or clubs? So here comes that first poll. Results. And most popular choice was for diamonds, followed by clubs and hearts. So let's switch back and see what we think. Well, we have equal trump length here, five in each hand. And I think this hand is a little bit easier to plan if we look at it from the point of view of the north hand. But in the north hand, due to that very fortunate lead of a spade, we don't have any spade losers, but we're going to lose a heart and a club, and we have some diamond losers. But if we can ruff two diamonds in the south hand, then we'll only lose one diamond. So here I'm hoping to only lose one club, one diamond, and one heart. So in order to ruff diamonds, I need to think about whether to draw trumps. Now, I have 10 trumps here, so those will almost certainly be drawn in two rounds. And if that happens, I will still have plenty of trumps in each hand in order to ruff the diamonds or ruff the clubs if I want to do that too. So really, the correct answer to this one, when you win the first trick with the ace of spades, is that you should draw trumps. And I'm going to have a look at this hand played a couple of different ways, drawing trumps and not drawing trumps. This particular declarer didn't draw trumps and started off on diamonds. And they lost a diamond there. The opponents came back with a club. And North here actually makes a second mistake, which is not taking the ace there. They let that one go. That's another mistake. And the opponents continued with spades, which declarer won. And declarer now plays another diamond, obviously planning to ruff. So the ace of diamonds is played. They ruffed and were successful in that. And at this stage, if I'm watching someone play, I'm sort of urging them to draw trumps. But this declarer didn't do that. They played another club. And sadly, that was ruffed because they hadn't drawn trumps. A spade came back, and that was rough too. And they've lost those two unnecessary tricks simply because they didn't draw trumps. A diamond came back, and they were able to ruff that. And now finally they start drawing trumps. I'll just bring up the four hands at this point. They lose to the ace. A club comes back, which they ruff with the 8. And now they're going to finally play on trumps and, of course, make the rest. But they will make just 8 tricks on this hand. Another time it was played this way, this is actually how it was played, and it ended up in 4 hearts being played by North. And this declarer played much better. East here led a club, 9 of clubs, that was their partner's suit. They played low from dummy. North is declarer this time. They played the king and took the ace. And this declarer started off on trumps. They just played a heart over to the ace, to the queen and the ace. And they played a diamond here, which was lost. They played a queen of clubs, which also lost. And then this particular West led a trump, and that was won by declarer. And now declarer has no problem making 4 hearts. In fact, because East West played the clubs earlier, it's established the jack and the 10 of clubs. So they ruffed a diamond, played the 10 of clubs. They roughed this one. It didn't really need to rough that because it was high. Roughed a diamond back, played the jack of clubs. This time they discarded a spade, and so they avoided a spade loser that way. And they made 10 tricks. Most declarers made 10 tricks, but really you should just start by drawing trumps if you can. And this is an example of a hand where, although you want to rough diamonds at some point, you can afford to draw trumps first. It's only going to take 2 rounds to draw the opponent's trumps, and you'll still have enough trumps in the south hand to rough the diamonds. Do let me know if you have any questions about that. So let's have a look at another one. This time...
Got a question on the first hand.
Yes, hello. Hello, Morris, yes.
Yes, if you're going to draw trumps, West will spot the shortage in clubs in dummy.
Yeah.
And if he goes up with the ace, should he not return the 6 of trumps straight away?
Yes, I think that's a good idea. So on this one, if a singleton is led and you lead a trump, he should seriously think about returning a club, because that lead could well have been a singleton. On this occasion, East is out of trump, so can't rough. So, but yes, that would have been a better play, I think. I think, in fact, what they did do was played the king of diamonds and then the queen of clubs, which is a trick high anyway. I mean, at that point, they realised that there are no more trumps. Sorry, that North has no more clubs anyway, perhaps. Anyway, but yes, that would have been perhaps a better defence. It doesn't work on this occasion because you can't get a rough anyway. Let's have a look at another one. This time, South, you open 1 spade. There's a 2 club overcall, and North doubles. That's a negative double, and it should show the unbid suits, and typically about 8 points or more. So they're showing both red suits there. South isn't really interested in hearts or diamonds. And with 17 points, I think they've got, 16 points, they jump to 3 spades and they end up in 4 spades. And the opponents lead the king of clubs. And you need to stop and think about this and make your plan here. And I'm going to look at the suits one at a time and work out how many potential losers I have. Well, I'm missing the ace of spades, so that's 1 loser there. But I don't have any heart losers and I don't have any diamond losers. The only other loser I've got is in clubs. And in the south hand, I actually have 2 losers, but I plan to rough one of those in dummy. So if I can do that, I should just lose 1 spade and 1 club. Now, because the opponents have led a club here, it can be a good idea in this situation not to take your ace. In other words, let them think they're onto a good thing. And then if they continue with clubs, you can now take your ace, and now you're in the ideal position of playing a club. So you're not going to draw trumps yet because you want to ruff that club. So play a club. We're going to ruff high as we can with a 9, and that when that holds a trick, then all we need to do now is draw trumps. So we'll just come back to our hand. Whatever they play here, even if they ruff there, we can over ruff. We keep drawing trumps. And once all the trumps have gone, we can claim the rest, making 2 hearts and 2 diamonds. So here, everyone should make 11 tricks there if they're able to ruff a spade. I want to look at it played another time. This particular declarer didn't do quite so well. And I'll just show you what they did. They started off the same way, losing the first club and ruffing a club with a spade. But then instead of drawing trumps, they started playing diamonds. They're trying to cross ruff here. And although that succeeds in the sense that you are able to ruff a diamond, you're putting yourself at risk of an over ruff here because you haven't drawn trumps. So here they ruffed with the 6, and of course West over ruffed. And declarer gets back in and still doesn't draw trumps. Still they're trying to like ruff hearts or something. So it's bewildering to me when I see this, because you're just putting yourself at risk of ruffs. Here it happened that West couldn't over ruff, and finally declarer has to play trumps because there's nothing else left. And they made their contract, but they made one fewer trick just because they suffered the over ruff. So if you delay drawing trumps until you've ruffed a club, and then you immediately should try and draw trumps as fast as you can. Let's try another one. This was another one that was played, and many people ended in 4 spades and didn't make it. And here you open 1 spade, your partner jumps straight to 4 spades. That ends the auction, and the opponents lead the king of hearts. And I'd like you to make a plan here and start by working out how many potential losers you have. And if you win this first trick with the ace of hearts, which suit are you going to play next? So you've won the first trick with the ace of hearts. Which suit are you going to play now? So the poll has 2 questions in it. How many potential losers do you have? And which suit are you going to play now? Okay, let's have a look at the answers. So for the first part, nearly everyone said 4. A couple of people said 3. And for the second part, we've got a wide variety of responses between spades and diamonds, clubs and hearts. A vote for everything there. So let's go through it. How many losers do we have? Well, we're missing the ace of spades, so I think that's 1 loser there. And we've won the ace of hearts, but that has exposed 2 heart losers. And we don't have any diamond losers, but we may lose a club. We can try the club finesse at some point, but if it fails, we have 4 losers in total, potential losers there. So we have 4 losers there. And if we think about this, if we start drawing trumps, the opponents are going to get in with the ace, and they will be in an immediate position to cash 2 hearts. And then the contract will depend on avoiding the club loser. So although it's often right to draw trumps right away, this is not a time for that. Because what we can do here is play 3 rounds of diamonds, and on the 3rd round, we'll be able to discard a heart. And then we'll only lose 1 heart trick. Now, there's a slight danger in playing diamonds in that the opponents may be able to ruff, but it's a pretty low chance. If you think about it, you've only got 5 diamonds. So you'd be very unlucky that you couldn't cash those 3 diamonds. So Here I'm going to delay drawing trumps because I've got something more urgent to do, which is to cash the diamonds. And of course, I start with the 2 of diamonds over to the king, the 9 of diamonds back to my hand, and then cash the ace. Fingers crossed it doesn't get roughed. And if I've done that, I've now avoided a heart loser. Now I've done that, I'm going to try the drawing trumps. And the opponents will get in and they'll be able to cash 1 heart, but no more than that. And in fact, if I'll just bring up the 4 hands after they've cashed the 10 of hearts, they may well East may then well see there's no point continuing in hearts because they can be roughed in dummy, and he won't want to lead a club, so he may well shift to a trump. That's fine. You win that one, draw that last trump, and you can try this the club finesse, but you can see it fails, so you'll lose 3 tricks. After that, you're not going to lose any more tricks, but you'll make 10 tricks there. So that was an example of delaying drawing trumps until you've cashed those 3 diamonds. And if you chose drawing trumps after you win the ace of hearts, you're probably going to get defeated on this hand. Let's try this one. This time you open 1 no trump. That's a weak no trump, showing 12 to 14 points. And your partner bids 2 hearts, which is a transfer to spades. You bid 2 spades, and that ends the auction. And here you are in a contract of 2 spades, and the opponents lead the king of diamonds. And again, I want you to try and make a plan on this hand. And I want you to think about how many potential losers you have. So let's suppose we win that first trick with the ace of diamonds. I want you to think about how many potential losers do you have? And after you've won the first trick with the ace of diamonds, which suit are you going to play now? The lead's in dummy. Which suit do you think you should lead after winning the ace of diamonds? Here comes the next poll. Let's have a look at the results. And for the first part, most of you who have said 6, but there are answers for 4, 5, and 7, which is very interesting. And for the second part, the most popular response was hearts, followed by spades, and there's some votes for clubs and diamonds too. So, sorry, let's switch back to this one. And let's see if we can work it out. Well, when you're playing transfers, you will almost always find that the hand with the long trump suit is dummy. So you need to work out your losers from the point of view of the hand with the long trumps. So if we look at the spade suit, we can see we're missing the ace. That should be just 1 loser there. In hearts, we're missing the ace again. So that should be another loser there. Diamonds, we have 2 losers, and we also have 2 losers in clubs. So yes, I agree. I think we have 6 losers. Let's go through it again. A spade, a heart, 2 diamonds, and 2 clubs. We have 6 potential losers here. And if we win this, having won this, if we start drawing trumps, you can be pretty certain that the opponents will switch to a diamond after they win the ace of spades. They'll take 2 diamonds. And if after they take 2 diamonds, if they then play a club, they can knock out your ace. And then later on, after you've drawn trumps, if you start playing hearts, they'll get in with the ace and they'll be able to take their 2 clubs. So you'll probably be defeated if you carry on with, if you switch to a trump now. Probably the best chance here is to set up tricks in hearts. And you need to do that before you've drawn trumps, because the opponents will get in and cash enough tricks to defeat you. So you really need to try to play hearts here. And what I would do is play a heart here. If they win the first, let you win the first trick with the king, I would play another heart back here. And they win that one, but you have at least set up the Jack of Hearts now. Now, suppose they play their diamonds. They take a diamond and play another diamond. And let's suppose they shift to a club, which is what you were worried about. You can take that, and you've got two club losers now. They've defended very well. And if you try to draw trumps now, they will cash their two clubs probably. So you need to just cross your fingers that this doesn't get roughed, but you need to try to cash your Jack of Hearts. And as long as that doesn't get roughed, you'll be able to discard a club there. So having done that, now you can draw trumps. Whenever they get in, they can cash one club, but that's it. After that, you can rough the rest, draw the remaining trump, and you should just make your 8 tricks. So in other words, you started with 6 potential losers, and you're able to set up the hearts in order to make one more trick and hold your losers to 5. Do let me know if you have any questions about this. I just want to look at one last hand. This was a hand I sent out in this week's email, and it was actually a hand that was played a while ago online. And this was the result when it was played online. You can see that people played this in 5 or 6 spades by West, but most people only made 11 tricks. Some people went down in 6 spades, or in 5 spades, they just made their contract. Although the little grid says you can make 6 spades. So let's have a look at it. And this is the hand here. And this is how it might go. You open 2 clubs. There you've got a monster hand there. Your partner bids 2 diamonds. And now you bid 2 spades. And your partner bids 3 spades. Now that 3 spade bid, as well as showing some support in spades, should show that your partner has some points. In other words, if they had a really rubbish hand, say with 0 to 2 points, they should have made the double negative bid of 2 no trump. But the 3 spade bid therefore should show at least 3 points. And if you bid 4 no trump, they respond they have no aces, but you still might try 6 spades. If you've got some points there, maybe there's a chance for 6 spades. So this time it's being played by West. And let's suppose North leads the Queen of Diamonds. And we look at dummy and we sort of try and work out where we might lose tricks here. And let's suppose we win that first trick with the Ace of Diamonds. You now have to figure out how to avoid, you're always going to lose the Ace of Spades, but you have to figure out a way to avoid losing another diamond. And the final poll of the evening is, having won the Ace of Diamonds, which suit do you think West should play now? West is declarer, and having won that Ace of Diamonds, the poll question is, which suit do you think West should play now? Let's have a look at the responses. And the most popular response is clubs, with responses for spades, hearts, and diamonds. And if we switch back, let's see. Well, they've led a diamond. So if, for example, we switch to a trump here, they will get in with their ace and they'll be able to cash a diamond. So we are in desperately need to try to get rid of a diamond loser. And there's really only one good way to do it, and that is on the hearts. Now, we need to be very careful about this, because the best way to try to avoid the diamond loser is not to play the hearts. In other words, you might be thinking, well, I'll play the ace, king, jack, and then another heart, but that's going to suffer a ruff almost certainly, isn't it? A much better way is to get over to dummy in clubs and then sorry, get over to dummy is to play the clubs and then get over to dummy in heart so that we can discard on the third club. So yes, I agree with most of you. You should switch to a club. And this was the actual hand here. What you need to do is hope that you're able to play the clubs in such a way that they don't get roughed. So you cash the ace king, and now we've set up the queen of clubs, and we just have to get over to dummy. And the safest way here is to play the jack here, overtake with the queen, so that now we can play the queen of clubs and discard that diamond. So that was a tricky one to play. Now we've done that, we just draw trumps, of course, and whatever they play, of course, we can ruff. We can afford to ruff high here, draw the last trump, and we'll make 12 tricks here. But as you saw, only one person made 12 tricks here, but you need to think about, is there any way to avoid that diamond loser? And here it's a tricky one. It's a combination of playing in clubs or playing in clubs and hearts together in order to discard the diamond. Any questions on any of those?